Hello from Covenant Life Fellowship, where Ken Porter
That's me.
is the pastor. My name is Bev Porter, and welcome to Bev's Lifeline.
Hey, today we like to ask you a question. What do you smell like?
Huh?
Oh. That's a good question because
Yes.
we actually emit an aroma. Every time we're in a situation in our lives where we're walking, talking, having contact with anybody and everybody that we meet, we emit an aroma. And the question is, what do you smell like? What kind of impression are you leaving behind with your spouse, with your coworkers, with those who are around you? In 2 Corinthians 2:14 through 17, it talks about how God causes us to leave a great aroma. He causes us to be, first of all, successful in all that we do. And what we are doing is we're actually representing Christ in all that we do in our relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And many times what happens is that we go out and we have a conversation, but the conversation can be bitter or the conversation can be sweet.
Yeah.
The choice is yours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
very good. Can I give some
Sure.
examples of what might be bitter and what might be sweet conversation?
Absolutely.
What might be conversations of fragrance? And what might be a smelly conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in Philadelphia for a few days, and in the hotel was a Starbucks, and Stella worked at Starbucks, and so I ran in one day. I was in a hurry. I had to hurry up and get to my destination, but Stella had this wonderful fragrance about her, and she greeted me with such joy. She loved her job. At least I got the impression that she did. And so she didn't know my name. She didn't know who I was, but she was just so pleasant. She says, "How can I help you today?" And then she went on to talk about all the offerings that they had. And then she ministered to me. She quoted scriptures and she talked about God's goodness and how she prayed that I would have a blessed day. And that was such a sweet aroma coming from Stella. And so much so that I could smell that aroma, that fragrance that came from Stella throughout my day. It set the tone for the day. It was popurri for me. Now, here's an example of a very pungent smell, a fragrance that I would be repelled to. Have you ever been around a person that's just so bitter, so negative? They speak such foul language to their spouse, right? You call them everything but the child of God. If you're at work, they're just hateful. You don't even want to approach them because you don't know whether this is a good day or bad day.
And who's going to show up?
Who's going to show up, right? And so that's a person who has this aroma that's not poopery. It's more like poop. Right? And so you don't really want to be around that environment. And they do leave a lasting fragrance. It can set your day on a course that is not positive. So those are just two very diametrically opposing fragrances that you can leave.
Yes, and they're lasting. Actually, out of the five senses, your smell is the strongest because it connects to your brain. That takes you to a place where you may not be. It's like the smell of fresh bread. When you smell fresh bread, it takes you to a place. When I smell something called Burr Rabbit syrup, it takes me back to my mom being in the kitchen making tea cakes. Oh, what a wonderful, pleasant smell. And so we have to realize that so many times we emit this foul smell, and we don't even realize it because we're just so used to spewing out this mess. It's kind of like a little baby, cute, beautiful, dimples, standing there, hey, looking just as cute as a button with a dirty diaper full of poop.
And the closer you get to that baby,
my goodness, yes,
you know,
right?
Yeah.
Get away, danger, it smells.
Yeah.
And so we have to understand that we make impressions every day upon people. So we have to be very careful to make sure that we are speaking life and not death. And through that, our actions that we leave behind in every interaction that we have to make sure that we are speaking life. We smell good.
So how do you smell? When people are around you, is it a sweet fragrance where even after they leave you, they can still enjoy that fragrance that you left with them? Or is it a fragrance where when they left you, they were grieving and hurt and saddened by the fragrance that you emitted? How do you smell?
Yeah.
Right? Is it a smell? Is it a scent that takes on the likeness of Christ? Would Christ be glorified based on the scent that is being emitted from you? Check your smell, right? Is it sweet or is it bitter?
Yeah.
Is it popurri
Or is it poop?
or is it poop, right? How do you smell? Ask yourself the question. Be honest with yourself. And perhaps it's time for you to walk closer to the Lord, where you can take on his likeness,
Yes.
where you can read and pour into the Lord and meditate in prayer. And then, you know what? You'll start smelling like Christ.
You will.
Yeah. So that's what we want you to do. We want you to take on the fragrance of Christ.
A sweet aroma.
A sweet aroma. Right?
Be poopery.
Be popurri.
And not poop.
Don't be like that baby where the closer you get, the more repulsed you are because of the smell. Want people to be around you. Yeah. So that's all we have for you now. Know that we love you infinity. And this is ministry. If you haven't heard that before, it is ministry. So we want you to like it.
And to share.
We want you to share it. Bye for now.